I want you to look at this word right here. It's the word eat, friends, drink, and be drunk with love. I told you a few weeks ago that the Hebrew word for love has a lot of different meanings, but one meaning is the word dode. And what it means is a mingling of souls. See, the Bible doesn't think about love the way that we think about love. It doesn't think like, I love them, and I love this, and I love that, and oh, I love me, and then we fall out of love, and then we don't love anymore. No, that's not the way the Bible presents the picture of love. The Bible presents love in this word dode, which means a mingling of souls. That's why we say that sex is not physical. It is more than physical. Sex actually is spiritual. It is a mingling of your soul with your spouse. But there's another word here, and it's this word drunk. Give it enough time, and science catches up with the Bible. This was written 3,000 years ago. But modern research in the last 20 years, due to MRIs and neurology, what they've discovered is that during the act of lovemaking, certain chemicals are released in the brain, dopamine receptors and oxytocin, one of the most powerful and most addictive experiences a person can experience. During sex, two people become chemically bonded together. That's right. This is the same thing that the Bible taught 3,000 years ago. That's why God says, be drunk with love. Be intoxicated by the mingling of your souls together. See, God wants you to be able to enjoy sex, but he wants you to enjoy it a way where with your spouse, your souls become mingled together. Sex is one of the most powerful experiences that a person will ever have, and God wants you to enjoy it, but he wants you to enjoy it with your spouse. God says, eat, friends, drink, be drunk with love, be intoxicated by the mingling of your souls together. And here's the good thing, is that whenever God gives a gift, it's the gift that keeps on giving. See, God's intention for sex was this, that every time you have sex with your spouse, what you're doing is this, you are reuniting the bond and the covenant that you made on your wedding day. That's exactly what you're doing. You are reuniting the bond. You are rekindling the love. You are remembering your covenant with one another. And every time you have sex with your spouse, what you are doing is you're entering back into that covenant with one another, saying, I give myself to you for better or for worse, in sickness and health, until death do we part. And every time what you're doing is you're re-entering your covenant agreement with your spouse. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And so what I want to do is I want to give you very briefly 5 gifts that God gives through sex. When it comes to giving gifts, me and Ashley are totally different. Okay, Ashley loves sentimental gifts. So I just get my daughters to paint something on a picture. She's like, oh, this is so amazing. And then she hangs it on the wall and it's just up at their house, right? But me, I like more practical gifts, right? Ashley, she'll get me a pair of socks. I'm like, I can wear these every day, right? So sex is sentimental, but it's also very practical. And so let me give you 5 gifts that God gives through sex. The first thing is this, he gives a gift for oneness. This is what we see in Mark 10. This is what we see in the Bible, Mark 10, 6 through 9. It's the gift of oneness, that you become one flesh, that you are together. If you have decisions and things that you're walking through where you're not in agreement, through the gift of sex, there is the gift of oneness. It's also the gift of comfort. 2 Samuel 12:24. That sometimes there's nothing you can say to actually comfort your spouse. Life is hard, life is difficult, and actions will speak louder than words. We see that it is a gift of comfort. It's the gift of knowledge. Genesis 4:1, Adam knew his wife. The more you are intimate with your spouse, the more you will know them, their hopes, their wants, their dreams, their fears, their insecurities. And the more you're intimate with them, the more you're going to be able to encourage them, because it is for the gift of knowledge. It's also for the gift of protection. There is no excuse for sexual sin, but at the same time, God gives a way to prevent it from happening. And the more intimate you are with one another, the less temptation is going to be in that marriage. And then we see it's also for pleasure. Song of Solomon 5:1, eat, friends, drink, and be drunk with love. Children are never mentioned in Song of Solomon. But yet we see a lot of passion and we see a lot of pleasure. That's because God gives sex as a wedding gift. He wants for you to be able to enjoy it because it is blessed by God. And so you're thinking, Pastor Byron, how are you going to close a sermon like this? Well, I think James 1:22 is a good way. Be doers of the word and not hearers only, lest you deceive yourself.